It rained yesterday and the dinghy had some fresh water in it, so I started dealing with that. So there are two water tanks. There's one under the V-berth, and it has a fill up on the deck. It comes down in there. And then there's a tube that runs down to this water tank, which is the one I was filling a couple weeks ago. There's, down here in the bilge, there are two gate valves. These are round things that are called gate valves. And there are two of them. There's one down here and one here. And Jesse told me that these are for the water tanks. And he said that one of them would allow the forward tank to drain into this bottom tank. And I am now trying to figure out which is which. I discovered that there's a trickle of water running down the bilge, coming from, weeping from a hole right there. Weeping from that hole. So either that forward tank is leaking or one of the connections is leaking, something is leaking. So all that bucket of fresh water, like 4 gallons of fresh water that I poured in there, that I bailed out of the dinghy and carried up to the bow, is running down into the bilge where it's going to get pumped over the side. This is another thing for me to fix. Doug is here in the V-berth. Removing the plate so that we can see the... It's not on that one up above, is it? That
What's
rusty thing.
No, I don't believe it's got to be down here.
That was for
it's much closer to the water line.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's below that scratch.
This is going to be ugly in here.
I'm scared of it, which is why I wanted somebody to hold my hand. Get it out. I didn't know it. I should have looked to see it was screwed down. I'm sorry. How many screws were there?
5.
Oh gosh.
Or at least 5 that I found.
Oh no.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, well, it doesn't look too bad.
And the fill for your water tank is right here too.
Oh, is it leaking?
Actually, it looks pretty dry.
Huh.
Totally dry down here, which is always good. That should come off pretty easy. There's 2 bolts. Those are probably 3/8 or 7/16. And I actually probably would not touch it until you've got new bolts to put in. In other words, just make a guess, your best guess about the length.
Okay.
And then order new bolts.
Right.
And then take them out and put them back in again.
Okay. That
actually looks pretty decent. My guess would be that if you looked at the bolt when you pulled it out, that it might be pitted right around the inside.
Mm-hmm. Well, the stress they went under when that wire snapped. Holy cow.
My guess would be that probably happened when the boat hit something. It probably wasn't a rig stress. It was probably an impact.
Oh.
In other words, it probably banged on something.
Oh my gosh.
It was like pinball machines in here. So, like a lot of the boats were drifting loose, and chances are good that it hit something.
Oh,
I don't think it would have busted otherwise.
Oh. Making progress on getting this track off. I got more than half of the nuts off, and I tore the wood out of here with a hammer. It was in pieces anyway. And I'm gonna work on the rest of these. I got all but 3 of the nuts off. It's so hot down there. I didn't want to stay down there. It's really nice out here right now, although it's starting to get to be skeeter time. There's that. Oh, I can bend it now. The vice grips that I got at the Ferreteria Gonzalez are the bomb. The trick is to make this happen without dropping the tool over the side, which is a pretty big trick, actually, it turns out. These poor things. There we go. I was afraid they weren't going to come out so easy because they were so bent, but there it is. Only a little bit bent. Another bolt out. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Okay, I'm halfway there. Sweet! Halfway there. And of course, then there's the one on the other side, but we're doing this one first because it's in the worst shape, you can see. Oh, that was interesting. That one just twisted right off. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get it out from below. We'll see. And meanwhile, this wood is just coming right out. Just so easy. There's the old tow rail. Come out. Oh yeah, there's the head of that bolt sheared right off. Oh dear. Horse over there. Here comes Jesse. Sparky.
Hello.
Hi. I brought your fuel can.
Okay.
One of them anyway.
All right.
There's a little traffic jam here. Hello, dear. A little feral horse population here. It's on our way back from town. The back is full of my goodies. I got groceries. Back also full of goodies. I have to unpack it all and get it out to the boat. One of these rare times when it's really calm. Real blessing for rowing back to the boat because usually it's hard upwind the whole way. For a landing, huh? Well, here we are. There's some hardware left on the boat. And this is the tow rail. What's left of it. This is the starboard side, right-hand side looking forward. And there's more of it left here. And here's the track on this side, which is actually not in bad shape, but I'm going to replace it because it's pretty beat up. And this more out. And be nice to have them both the same. And I got to get all these screws out. All this hardware's got to come out and the holes be filled. And All these stanchion bases, most of them are no good either. They're all cracked and broken. This one's bad. Let's see. This is part of the standing rigging. These are turnbuckles. They're holding up the mast. They're gonna get replaced too because they've been under too much stress. The bobstay fitting, which is hard to imagine how that wire, that was a 1/4 inch wire, got totally just destroyed. It's a big excitement. My PB blaster finally came. I've been waiting for it for over a month, for 5 weeks. I've been waiting for my PB blaster. It finally came, and I am going to try to use it. Oh, there we go. Holy cow. Directions on the blaster say to tap it lightly. I'm a little scared to do that, but with the neighbor boat having sunk overnight, and that's the hole right there where the water is. And this tube is probably full of water because this is below the water line. So this is the part that needs to move, and it's not moving right now. It's really frozen. So I guess I could give it a little tappy. One of the things I got in the mail is this whale pump, which I love so much. We had these on Pelican, and it is a foot pump for the Galley, so that you're not wasting all that water with the pressure water, which I don't like. But the problem is where to put it. So here's, the Galley. Here's the Galley, there's the sink, and there's the motor. So, you want the foot pump maybe here by the sink, but there's not much room there. There's a little bit, but the cover has to go on. So you don't want to really be fighting the pump, trying to get the cover on and off. And I don't think I want it over here. The other Johnny was suggesting maybe I could put it over here, but that's kind of a stretch for me when I'm standing at the sink to reach my foot over here for a pump. So I think they both need to go over here. So one for salt, one for fresh. And it turns out this is the fridge here. And Jesse put extra insulation in the fridge, which is awesome. I'm hoping to get a refrigeration unit for it so I can actually have a refrigerator. But so it goes down somewhere in here. So that leaves me plenty of room to install this baby in here. It's not very big. Doesn't have to go back very far. But I saw this really cool YouTube video when I went I went searching for how to install the thing, and I found this YouTube video. It was super cool. This guy built this like a little box for it and recessed it back in. He had a small boat too, and he didn't want it sticking out because you got to stand there in the galley. So awesome idea. I don't need a fancy box, but I'm thinking that I can just cut this bulkhead out. See, there's the ice box. I just need to measure where to cut the hole, and I'll just cut this out and put the 2 pumps in here, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, there we go. There. So, I think it's gonna go in there. Looks like plenty of room for it under there. Maybe I can put some paint. Maybe it could stick out a little, but I don't know if it really needs to.